I'm gonna say this before I even get into this. The thing is, this guy was such a, there's so many people within that city, bro. This guy's just hated now. Now, mind you, I don't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? Have I talked to him? I have talked to him. Not after the situation, but before. But like, I don't know him like that. So it's like, this is one of those situations where I just gotta see what's being said. You know what I'm saying? And kind of move on. But it's been unanimous. I could say this from everybody I've known in Austin. Everyone hated this man.
This is about Emily Shunk, the streamer online known as Emiru, who I was in a relationship with for about 3 years. For 3 years, she was the first person I saw every morning and the last person I saw every night. She was the person who wanted to marry me and have my children. Then, about 10 months later, after we broke up, in October of 2025, on a live stream to her audience of millions, she accused me of sexual assault, stalking, and abuse. I deny those accusations completely. To be clear about the setup, I am the one who went to court. I sued her for defamation, meaning for making false accusations that damaged me. A court has since ordered me to lay out, one statement at a time, exactly what she said.
The 30 Eastern by alleged. So order him to lay out one statement at a time.
That is false. This is me doing that with the public court record and her own.
And this is for court?
Words placed next to each claim, so you can weigh it for yourself. Here's what's changed. After her October 2025 live stream, the accusation spread everywhere. And to most people, the story was already settled. I was guilty. But what changed is that in June 2026, a federal judge reviewed her request to throw my entire case out and recommended the opposite, that it moves forward. So here's the accusations that she made on stream. These are in her words as the judge quoted them. On October 2025, near the start of her live stream.
So he said bring evidence. Okay, yeah, because defamation is very hard to prove, right?
By the magistrate judge on the account of the transcript, she said she was, and quote, finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. Under Texas law, as a magistrate judge in my case wrote, accusing someone of a crime or of engaging in serious sexual misconduct is defamation per se. In plain terms, defamation per se means that falsely accusing someone of a crime is treated by the law as damaging on its face. So the harm does not have to be proven separately. Those are accusations of crimes. I deny every one of them. And the judge did not leave that standard.
But the thing is, didn't he go live and said, like, she was correct, though? Like, how does that... This is what happens when you open your mouth before you have a lawyer, you know?
In the abstract, applying it to her sexual assault accusation in the same opinion. She found that accusation reasonable.
That's what's kind of throwing me off. It's like, no, he did not say that. So I definitely watched it. I'm not tripping. He apologized for it, though. Did he not?
Capable of a defamatory meeting and allowed my defamation claim to move forward. If you want to find any of these readings, I'll be putting a link below where you can read everything. For the first time I spoke until now, my account has not changed. The same denial, the same story.
He addressed that in this video.
Same detail. I have never had to take anything back because I have never lied. She has, repeatedly, through this entire process. And I'm going to walk you through the lies in her own filings and her words. The same filing has her calling one live stream spontaneous, unedited and unscripted in one document, and describing a lawyer's review and prepared notes in another.
So yeah, it seems like reading her script or something because I wrote some notes. Okay. And not only that, I've been in contact with a lawyer. I had to review everything that I've been planning to say today, because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do this, I was going to do this. Okay. We'll probably need to do this today, and it's not just a whim or something like that. Okay, so like I said, I took a lot of notes, so forgive me if I just end up reading off my note. The live stream was unedited and unscripted, endorsing. Okay.
It has her swearing in a footnote that we did not get back together. While
the society, this is in the comments acted by abusers to try to justify their behavior towards their victim.
2 months of her messages say that we did. It was her announcing a restraining order in 2 states that she never filed. Those are not differences of memory, they are lies, and the records are right here. The first thing that people told about me were that he admitted to everything. I never did, and I never moved off my own story. The first thing most people heard about was not that the accusations itself, it was that I had gone on my own stream and admitted to all of it. This is false. I denied these claims from the beginning. And I've said that in the same thing every day since. Almost no one listened to my side. Before I went live, Emiru went live first. She told the world that I sexually assaulted her, abused her, and stalked her, before I had a single word in my defense. I deny those accusations completely. The word that came next.
I mean, bro, this is like this is the perfect example of why that stream shouldn't date each other. Like, go date a regular or something, or like a regular girl or something. Go date the bad girl, the bad girl, not the bad girl. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, this is just messy as gang. Like this is messy as okay.
Rapist. Came from everyone who heard her and ran with it. The verdict was in before I even said a single word. And when I did go live, I told my side and I...
Find your barista. Don't do that. It's not your barista. That's not going to be your barista. Trust me, it's going to be your barista at that moment. Don't do that.
Stuck with it word for word to today. She has not. She has done exactly 1 live stream. And across that single stream, her story does not hold together. It has contradictions that are laid out in the sections that follow, in her own filings and her own words. One account has never changed. The other keeps changing. So why does the false version that I admitted to everything still win? That's because almost no one watched either stream in full. People pulled small clips from my about 30-minute response, cut away the context, and wrapped their own narrative around it for views and for clips. It was never close to her. So in Emiru's filing, her motion calls it spontaneous. Her own transcript has her describing a lawyer's review and prepared notes. In her motion to dismiss, her attorney describes the stream this way in regards to the sexual assault.
So all of this already happened on the back end, yeah?
Live stream was spontaneous, unedited, and unscripted, speaking openly and vulnerably in the moment. In her declaration, she states the filed transcript of the live stream is accurate, a true and correct
correct copy of relevant transcript of October 20 live stream that I hosted on Twitch, which was later posted to my YouTube referred by in forms of any basis of plaintiff.
Correct copy. And she says at 18 minutes and 5 seconds into that stream, I have been in contact with my lawyer. I had them review everything that I'm planning to say today. And across that same broadcast, she keeps refuting to how prepared she was. It was not just on a whim, she says. I took a lot of notes. I just end up reading off my own notes. So my attorney puts it in court directly. Shunks should not be heard now to argue that her defense.
Who the fuck is Shunks? What the fuck is this? Oh, is that her? Oh, okay, her last name. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Defamatory comments were some off-the-cuff, spontaneous, emotional response when she specifically stated that not only were her comments thoroughly planned out and scripted, that they were in fact reviewed by counsel in advance to the live stream. So her brief on the stream was spontaneous and unscripted. Her own filed transcript has her saying a lawyer reviewed and it read from notes. Both are her words. In the same case, they describe the same 90 minutes 2 different ways. The sexual assault allegations, she called it sexual assault. Here's what
Hold on. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going into crazy detail, but I've known his lawyer for about 20 years. His lawyer is shark among sharks. Hey, that's the goated lawyer right there too. Just
she said happened and what I did. She told her audience and later the court that what happened between us on one night was sexual assault, a crime. She named it on the live stream where she made her own other accusations. Then she went over what she says happens that night. These are her own words, as quoted in my complaints. He started kissing my face and I let him do it. And then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hands down my pants. And I screamed. And when I screamed, he jumped off of me like a cat. Here's what I have to say about that, plainly. I did what any man should do in the situation. She made it clear that she didn't want it, and I stopped. I respected her not consenting. I did the right thing in that situation.
Okay, but I'm not gonna lie, you still ballsy for trying to do it while she was crying though. Ballsy as
and look closely at her own account, because on the thing that matters the most, it agrees with me. The moment she reacted, I stopped. When I screamed, he jumped off of me, like a cat, as her words, not mine. I did not push past her. I did not ignore her. The instant I understood that she was not okay, I stopped. I did not sexually assault her and deny it completely. Here's word for word from the transcript filed. In this case, is what I exactly
weren't they in a relationship, so it's not weird. Gang, I don't give a fuck how long I've been somebody, okay? If they're crying, I'm not, I think the normal thing is not to like, you feel me? Am I tripping for that? Oh my God. Like, for example, oh my God, your parents died this morning from a horrible accident, grabs breasts. Not the time. Like, what?
Said on that stream. This was never a confession, and it was denial. And I wrote, I knew the relationship wasn't healthy at this point. I knew we had to end it soon. Emmy posted a very provocative picture, one that she knew I would hate, and she posted it to make me upset. She admitted she made me upset with it, and we got into a heated argument after I broke up with her. We broke up.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I know Shorty has done this, but I've known.
For about a month. Then we got back together because we thought.
For a month?
Thought we could make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and we started to kiss. She said that she was okay with it on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. So why does this false version that I admitted to everything still win? I would also like to make it very clear that up until that moment, Emiru and I had been dating for over 3 years. We did break up for about a couple weeks, but we immediately got back together. And
I'm not gonna lie to you, you do that whole on and off shit is toxic, bro. Get the fuck out of there. We're too old for that, chat. Listen, this goes for y'all too, because one of y'all niggas here going through that right now. If y'all doing that on and off thing, that shit is toxic. It just breeds nothing but toxicity. You don't love her, you love the thought of her. You don't love him, you love the thought of him. So let's just leave each other, gang. Dang.
Through the past,
unless y'all got a kid together, then it's GG's. Yeah, you're fucked.
Last year of our relationship, we were constantly breaking up with each other, and then we would repeatedly have sex and get back together. So this is just one of those moments. To date, there is no evidence of a police report or any other legal action over the incident she alleges happened around October 2024, despite her public statements in October 2025, where she said to her audience that she was seeking a restraining order.
I am already in the process of filing.
Hold on, what Fanny saying? I didn't care. I've been sad, and some D makes me feel better. You know what? I guess it's RNG on how the build is. I guess, you know what I'm saying? It's just, yeah, I guess it's just RNG on who it is. It could be RNG on who it is. Okay, true. You do. That's a good point. That is a good point.
A restraining order on him in both Texas and California.
20 months have now passed since the alleged incident without a single criminal complaint, restraining order, or investigation appearing in any record in California or Texas.
I'm not gonna lie. This looks like that sounds like a. Never mind.
The only active case arising from any of this is my defamation lawsuit that I brought against her. The total absence of any official action over a year and a half stands in stark contrast to the severity of what she accused me of. When she finally did raise it, a full year after the date, she points to, it was not to the police. It was an audience of millions on a live stream. This is the reason she gave for going live. I felt like it was a necessary stream because I have heard that he has done things to other people that align with some of my own experiences. So I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information. And here
Oh, I forgot about that part.
is what does not fit an assault. We kept dating for months afterward. Her own messages, laid out in the next two sections, show her coming over, cooking me
She was cooking too. Oh, she looked like she could whip up some food. Okay, wow. Salmon, and then after, hey, my uncle died. Jesus Christ. We're gonna stay here. I'm sorry. You want me coming over? If you want, yeah. Okay, I will head over soon. Okay, I'm going to bed. Okay, I'm just getting ready. Do you want to sleep together? Yeah, by the way, you have like a save with DCs, because Cheddar's, he doesn't leave. He's the hero. You're basically caught up. I don't know what this means. What the f does that mean? Well, docs? What was that? What does this mean? What does this line mean? By the way, if you have like a save with these, what does that mean? I don't get that. My uncle Jim died. I know. Way to bring it up. I mean, he was sweet. Hope your family's okay. Yeah, he was very nice. Can I call you later, or will you be asleep? I did, but it's fine. Yeah, I just went offline for a few minutes. Okay, when you get here, can you feed Beepo? And then if okay, I want to sleep. Okay.
dinner, asking to sleep together, calling me babe, messaging
You want to come over?
me, Merry Christmas, babe. When it ended in January 2025, I was the one who walked away, and she is the one who did not want to split up. Her lawyers swore in a footnote that we did not get back together after the assault. Her own messages in the section below say otherwise. That is a lie, and in the record proves it. In court, she changed what the accusations even were. In public, Emiru called the accusations sexual assault, the crime. But once I sued her, her lawyers argued that her own words were never factually a claim at all, only her protected emotional truth. She said, and I quote, her story is admirable, and in telling it, she is stating her emotional truth, not some statement.
Isn't that the same thing? Remember that girl that her cousin? What's her name? Isn't that the same thing? But you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Kat, yeah. That's what she said, right? Sorry.
Of decisive fact. My attorneys answered that with one line. Emotional truth is not a recognized defense to defamation in Texas. And this is not just my side spin on her defense. The magistrate judge, restating Shunk's own motion in her own words, described it in exactly those terms. She also argues that her statement, considered in its entirety, was an opinion or her protected emotional truth. The judge did not buy it on the part that matters the most. Vague feelings about a relationship can be protected opinion. But falsely accusing someone of sexual assault, judge held, is different because those words can only mean one thing, that I committed a crime. She found exactly that about Shunk's accusation. Considering the gist of Shunk's statement, which included allegations of sexual assault, the court finds that it was reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning. He plausibly pleads a claim for defamation against Shunk based on her allegedly untrue statement that includes allegations of sexual assault. So here's where it stands. She told millions of people I sexually assaulted her. She has never produced a police report. We dated for months after that.
So it's okay. So there's still no police report after that. I mean, man, this is really bad on both sides, gang. And I think this is just a chalk up of a toxic relationship getting very messy. Why both? Because you gotta, this type of stuff you can't procrastinate on. You gotta just stay on it. It's messy because of that. She has to do what she has to do on her end. It's just not messy. Bez, shut the fuck up. Like mess, MESSY.
The night that she points to. And when I took her to court, her own lawyers argued those words were not a factual accusation, but her feelings.
It's bad. This is just very toxic, bro.
Emotional truth. The federal magistrate judge recommended that my defamation claim goes forward on exactly that statement. And in her exact words, found it reasonably capable of a defamatory.
Now, I'm not saying there's false accusations. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like there's some shit you can't procrastinate on. You just gotta stick on top of that shit, bro. You know?
Her filings say we never got back together. The messages from those months say otherwise. In her brief reply, her lawyer stated in a footnote, for clarity, Shunk and Mizkif did not get back together after the assault. Sadly, this is a common tactic by abusers to try to justify their behavior towards victims. But on her own live stream, she described that same breakup as nothing more than a short period. A short period is a brief break, and then we got back together. So let me be exact about the timeline, because this is where people have gotten confused. According to Emiru and her lawyers, we broke up in October 2024, and They told the court that we never got back together. Every message below is after that. On November 18th, I told Emiru that she can come over, and she said, is it okay if my alarms go off at 10, LOL? I said, sure. On December 16th, I ask if she wants to come over. She tries to call my phone. On December 18th, she makes me salmon for dinner. When I tell her my uncle...
Oh, no, Alicia, I'm not saying she's lying. That's not what I'm saying. Hopefully nobody takes that. Nobody... Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah, it's like, it's just... I'm not getting into the relationship. All I'm saying is... No, brother. We don't do, hey, gang, we don't do boss calls, gang. I just want to clarify that real quick. Ain't nobody, we don't do boss calls, bro. That's not how this comm works at all. We don't do that. I've tried though. As a woman as women, I don't like our period. She's lying because now I would never know. Once again, I just think this whole thing is very, very messy. Now was Ms. to a bunch of in a space? Yeah, 1,000%. But I don't know what the fuck's going on between them, but I'm just reading what the court docs are saying and then seeing what he's saying about it, to be honest with you. Because I don't know none of them, to be honest with you. Now, have I been invited to events from both sides? Yes, 1,000%. But it is what it is. To you?
She asks if I want to come over, and she does.
Do you think it was sexual assault? I said this. It's weird to try to f your girl while she's crying. Stand on that.
December 21st, she asked to shower at my place. Can I still come over tonight? Because she wanted to sleep with me. You know how you said my shower was cold? Obviously, I was at her place. My hot water completely is out now. I want the shower at your place. I'll just get up early again. I said yes. On December 25th, Christmas, she said hi, and then Merry Christmas, babe. This does sound like a couple that is broken up. On December 30th, 2024, we sleep together. Me, okay, I'm going to bed. Emiru said, okay. I then said, I'm just getting ready. Emiru said, do you want to sleep together? I then said, yeah. Keep in mind that a lot of the calls that we would have with each other are not shown because we called each other every single day as we slept with each other every single night. January the 15th to 18th, I call her babe in a text. Her filing said that we did not get back together after the October 2024 breakup as she describes. These are her own messages from November, December, and January. All after that date, the filing and the messages describe two different relationships. Our next point, she also says that she ended the relationship. But here's what actually happened the morning I walked out. We were together on and off for 3 years. A relationship we kept hidden from almost...
Yeah, so like that's a good question. Is the case over or no? Or is it still ongoing?
Everyone around us. But near the end, we broke up. We got back together more times than I can count. I wanted space, and she wanted to move closer. I told her I wanted her to move out and that I wanted space, and it was a line that never healed. The week of our official breakup in January, we had agreed to finally sit down and each say what we wanted for the future. At her house, on the morning of January 23rd, 2025, she handed me a note. And in it, she wrote that she wanted to marry me, that she wanted to build a life and move into an apartment right next to me because she knew how much I needed my space. And I looked at it. I looked at her, and I handed it back to her. I told her, I can't do this anymore, and I'm sorry. And the last thing I heard as I was closing her front door, and she said, don't go. This is who ended it. So in my complaint, I said, he called off the relationship in January 2025. So to be exact, the exact date that our relationship ended was on January 23rd, 2025. I left Austin in early February, first for Japan, and the move to Los Angeles came afterwards. After 2 trips overseas, the day by day in the timeline is gonna be shown. These messages are shown with me and at one point my best friend, Extra Emily. So Extra Emily knew that I wanted to break up with Emiru for a long time. And these messages are on the exact date that I broke up with Emiru on January 23rd, 2025. I messaged her and I said, bitch, I did it.
I'm sorry, but I could totally see Emily's face. Shut up! No way! Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. I did it. I ended it with Emily. Can you talk after you're free? Shut up. No way. I'm free to call whenever. You streaming? No, not until Saturday. Okay, I'll call in 5. Bro, this is getting messy.
Ended it. Emily said, shut up. No way. I'm free to call whenever. I said, are you streaming? And she said, not until Saturday. And then I messaged her and I said, okay, I'll call in.
And Emily hate thread. Emily gets a hate thread for opening her mail post box. Farm Emily because she's amazing views on clips right now. Like, the nigga's just on for no reason. Am I wrong? Yeah or nay? She gets one every day. Bro, she sneezed wrong. She gets a hate thread.
5. The conversation didn't end there. 2 days later, on January 25th, it was Emiru reaching out to talk things over with Extra Emily. And Extra Emily had already heard from me that it was over. So this is January 25th, 2025.
Okay, she texted me to talk. I'm pretending like you didn't tell me. Okay, I'm talking to her. Okay, I'm talking to her on the phone soon.
Extra Emily says, okay. And then she says, she texted me to talk. I'm pretending like you didn't tell me the news. Okay, I'm talking to her on the phone. soon. I then said, are you streaming tomorrow? And she said, no. So if this doesn't prove that Emiru is lying, that who broke up with who, I don't know what does. So now we're gonna move on to the stalking allegations and where I actually was. On February 2nd, 2025, about 10 days after we broke up, I flew to Japan. The reason why I flew to Japan is that I knew if I stayed in Austin, that we were just gonna get back together and get in the same loop that we had been in for almost a year. On February 21st, 2025, I came back to Austin and stayed about 3 weeks.
Extra Emery picked a side. I mean, that's her business, gang. I mean, bro, like, you can't judge her for that. She gonna judge. She gonna support who the fuck she wants to support. But just how it goes. Just how it goes. Everyone picked a side. Me, I'm on nobody's side. Genuinely, cause I be trying to tell these dating these streamers. I be trying to tell them. I tell them all the time, and I just be sitting there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
This is when my friend simply.
Hold on. Please explain to me how I'm fence-sitting. Please, wait. Coming in here talking about some Dean's fence, please. I'm not Nick. Nick fences between Asmin and Hassan. I don't do that. Worse than NMP is f***ing crazy. Then choose Asmin or Hassan. All right. After a long conversation with Hassan through a sundown town after coming from Alveus, me and him disagree on a lot of things. Okay, a lot of things. I think we only agree on one thing. That the U.S. is the best country in the world. Okay, and mind you, this is when two minorities were driving through the middle of nowhere in Texas at night. Now, after a conversation with Asmin at the OTK mansion, beautiful mansion I stayed in for about 3 months, free of charge, of course. Shouts out to NMP, LOL. I can say without a doubt that we're going to continue watching this video so we could...
At a party, which is the one that she ties to stalking, was on February 23rd, 2 days after I landed, about a month after we broke up. On March 16th, 2025, I flew back to Japan and stayed there for nearly 2 months. On May 12th, 2025, I returned to Austin for about 2.5 weeks. And in May 29th, 2025, I moved to Los Angeles. Stalking means being near someone and contacting them when they don't want it. For most of the year, after we ended it, I was on another continent and then in another state. I put distance between us deliberately, more than once. And on my own stream, here is what I exactly said about it. That week, I made flights to Japan because I didn't want to sit around and wait possibly to get back together again. I have never talked to her in person since. I have been removed from OTK Discords. I did see her at a party once at Simply's house, one of my close friends. The house was very small and I opened the door. I said, whoops, I want to make it very clear I was not following her. It just happened that I was with someone she knew the entire night. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about 50 people. I, of course, was near her, but I was never following her. The specific incident she calls stalking is a party. Here is how she described it on her own stream from the certified transcript she filed herself. I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through personal private communication, but I also had to start avoiding going to the same parties or places I was worried he'd be. There was a party that I attended. I was aware that he would be there and I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. We're adults, right? During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me, but I thought that was just being paranoid. About 30 minutes later, the room that we're in, the door opens, it's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes ooh, and closes the door and leaves. That is the entirety of her stalking allegations.
Okay.
Read in her own words, this is obviously not stalking. She was never cut off. She says that she cut me off through personal private communication, but she controlled the contact. She didn't block me, and on her own stream, she showed messages proving that I could still reach her. Choosing not to answer someone while never blocking them, while leaving every channel they could use to reach you wide open, and while showing no sign that you want them to stop is not the same as...
Ooh. Hold on. That...
being stalked. She also...
Okay. I can see. Okay, I see that one. I
knew that I was going to be there. In her
I see that one. That was should have been blocked. Should have been blocked. He's right.
Words. She was aware that I would be there and chose to attend the same party. Going somewhere you knew the other person would be at is the opposite of being followed. She also says that she felt and thought she was paranoid. She does not say I actually followed.
Not responding is a sign. Yeah, that's a sign. That is, you're 100% correct, Killa. That is a sign. That is a sign. But you have to do the you know like I do agree with like should have blocked that. I'm not tripping. You should have blocked that. On God, should have blocked them.
Or monitored her. She said that she felt that way. And twice.
That I'm not saying her not responding wasn't enough, but should have just blocked them.
Told her audience.
Now, if you would have blocked them and then hit you up on some no call ID, boom.
That she thought she was just being paranoid.
This is what I mean. This shit's messy.
And lastly, I opened the door and I left. Her one concrete moment is that about 30 minutes later, I opened a door, saw that she was inside and said, ooh, and walked away. Stalkers follow you. They obsess over you. They don't open a door at your friend's party and walk away. This is the entire firsthand account in her own filing on the strength of it that she listed stalking among the crimes she accused me of. If I was stalking her, I would be the worst stalker on the planet. I left the country for months immediately after we broke up, flew to Japan twice, and moved across the country shortly after I returned. That is the behavior of someone pulling as much distance possible between themselves and the other person, not following them. And while she was calling me a stalker in front of millions of people, she was quietly making the rounds through the community, going from person to person, behind my back, spreading a version of events I had no opportunity to answer. Emiru also claims on her own stream that she filed a restraining order in 2 states. Emiru said, and I quote, "I'm already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California." A restraining order is a public court record.
I mean, but you keep bringing it up, Miss. I mean, well, this is his life at risk here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about it. Somebody's playing with your life. So it is, you know, I mean, once again, we're hearing them out, man.
It is not in her motion. It is not in her sworn declaration. It is not in her first reply. She has not produced one or any as of today. Roughly 8 months later, after she announced it, there is still no restraining order or protective order of any kind against me that has appeared in Texas or California. My own attorney has received none. And the people who follow the case closely, watching for any filings of any type, have also found none. And the timing is the whole point. In both states she named, an emergency order is built to be fast because it's meant for people in real danger. In California, a judge can grant a temporary restraining order.
Like I said, I still stand by both these. Like, I think this was just a toxic relationship that it reached it went further and beyond, like Goku said. Like, this is crazy. I still stand by that. I still stand by that.
The same day you apply, with a full hearing set just 21 to 25 days later. In Texas, a judge can grant a temporary ex parte protective order the same day on a finding, a clear and present danger, with a hearing within 14 days. Someone who genuinely needs protection can have a temporary order in hours, not months. She said that.
Yeah, but he was canceled. I mean, yeah, of course, people normally lean toward the woman first, bro. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm very biased towards the woman first. Nigga, I got a 10-year-old daughter, gang. Like, bro, whatever the fuck my daughter tells me, like, I'm gonna believe off rip. You feel me? Like, and I always clearly say, before I even cover anything about any shorty, I'm like, bro, I have a bias because I have a daughter.
She was already in the process in October 2025. 8 months later, there is nothing. She also told her audience that my lawsuit was a bluff, that I couldn't win. In nearly the same breath, she predicted that I would sue her and waved it off in advance as meaningless. She put, and I quote, "I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a slap lawsuit." Interesting. So on camera, she was sure of 2 things. A restraining order was already on the way, and that my case was baseless. It was a PR stunt that I couldn't win. Neither of those things have held up. There's been no restraining order or protective order that has ever appeared in Texas or California. And the judge who reviewed her motion to throw my case out recommended the opposite, that it moves forward.
So the stalking thing, I disagree. I don't think, I don't believe he was stalking. From what I'm seeing here, I don't believe he was stalking.
I could not win. The court let me proceed. So here's the part that she leaves out about the party. Simply, whose party it was is one of my closest friends. We lived together for years. And at the time, we were going through our both breakups and dealing with our own problems. When I got back from Japan, he is the one who invited me. I was not there to find her. While Simply was giving me a tour of his house, I opened the door. I saw 4 OTK members sitting there in the corner and closed it. That is the whole.
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
Opened the door. I saw 4 OTK members sitting there in the corner and closed it. That is the whole opening the door moment that she describes as me stalking her. I want that to sink in. That is what she described as stalking. Moment she describes a tour of my best friend's house is me stalking her. And my own texts from that night prove it in real time. I messaged Extra Emily asking why everyone was upstairs, what the group in the corner was about, and what was going on.
Matt, I know Mizkif is hold on. I know Mizkif is unlikable, but doesn't mean he is an innocent. From everything that I saw from this video and everything online, she's made false accusations and destroyed his career on Twitch. Once again, I don't know him personally like that. To be honest with you, I was supposed to go to LA to visit him. I think a week before that happened. Yeah, actually, I was supposed to go to LA to visit him a week before that happened. You know what I'm saying? He was on like, a lot of don't like him in Texas. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of don't like. It is what it is. And some people just clearly don't care. Some people just don't care. There's some people that don't like him. There's some people that just do not care.
I thought that they were making another version of OTK, and I got worried. And Extra Emily just told me.
Did I cancel? I think I went to the OTK mansion before. I think that's what happened.
To basically not worry at all. That was it. And she somehow labeled that as stalking. In May of 2025, 5 months after we broke up, I sent her a long message by her own account on her own stream. She received it and sat with how to respond until her friends told her it had to be AI. She said, and I quote, "I had someone send me a massive apology message and I wasn't sure what to respond. I showed a couple of friends and they were like, this is literally ChatGPT."
I had someone send me a massive apology message, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to respond, so I showed a couple friends and they were like, "Emmy, this is literally ChatGPT," and I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm not responding."
You could put it back into ChatGPT and be like, "Is this?"
Yeah, no, they did, and ChatGPT said it's probably ChatGPT.
This is obviously about me because we were in a relationship the entire time that ChatGPT has existed. This was months before she even went public with an accusation. You do not consider how to respond to the person you say sexually assaulted, abused you, and stalked you. The only thing that stopped her was that her friends decided that my words were too well written to be mine. Think about that. I would like to now talk about the abuse claim that Emiru tried to hint at on her stream.
I'm so sorry. Well, you can apologize using ChatGPT. Give me a heartfelt apology for a Colombian woman after she seen another girl text me while we were at. Oh, bro, I'm not gonna lie, ChatGPT cooks. You deserve honesty, respect, to feel secure with me. I don't want you to feel like you have to compete with anyone or wonder where I used to. Oh, all right. Let's continue. Where's it at? Let's continue.
Dream. Here's the truth. In my own words, I have never hit Emiru. The one physical thing that ever happened was an accident. I had a habit of tossing my phone onto my bed, and one time it bounced off the mattress and caught her in the eye, and it left a bruise.
You see, now...
I felt terrible about it. I apologized immediately. I stopped...
It's like, bro... It's like it could, but then it's like,
throwing my phone that day, and we moved past it. That is the only time I ever hurt her, and it was not on purpose. What makes that more than just my word is that, at the time, her own account matched it in 2022. When she had the bruise, she did not call it abuse to anyone. She called it an accident both publicly and in private. In Emiru's best friend at the time's chat room on August 11, 2022, surrounded by all of Emiru's close friends and even her brother, she said the same.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. You gotta throw that like hard as right? Am I tripping? Like, you really gotta toss that for it to bounce off.
Thing. When a friend asked her directly whether something had given her the black eye, she answered that it was not intentional and called the whole thing a funny story that she would explain later. Verbatim, did someone knock you out, Emily? Emiru said, not intentionally. I got a black eye a week or two and it's finally almost gone. It's a long story, but funny as LOL, I'll DM you later. There was never a police report. There is nothing in any record from that time that treats this as an abuse. In calls, text messages, or anything that me and Emiru had, it was not called intentional abuse until 3 years later when Emiru went live. The bruise never changed. The story about it did. I will also have more messages about this as my lawyer lets me show, proving that this was never abuse, and Emiru has changed the story of it to fit her narrative to make people think that I am a monster. Emiru has accused me of sexual assault, stalking, and abuse. These are all crimes. In the time since, there's been no arrests, no criminal charges, no prosecution, no police complaints against me have surfaced anywhere in this case. On January 15, 2025, the federal magistrate judge has said to the district judge, the Honorable Robert Pittman, that she would deny defendant Emily Beth Shunk's motion to dismiss the First Amendment complaint. The order in which Ms. Rondino is to submit a more definitive statement within 30 days identifying each statement by Shunk he alleges to be defamatory, including the exact quotes from her live stream and how each statement is untrue and how it harms him. So what this essentially means is that Emiru's motion to dismiss did not go through and that we are continuing the court case. That recommendation still goes to the district judge for a final decision. And that same recommendation is why
So what does he get if he does win this okay, I'm pretty sure at the end he's gonna tell me.
The court told me to spell it out one by one, exactly what she said that I allege is false and how it harmed me. This is what I'm doing. It is the...
Oh, by the way, chat, listen, I don't give a fuck whose side you believe in, all right? Once again, your opinion, hey, you could say whose side you believe. That's all good and gravy, gang. But you're not going, this is not a purge day. Normally, purge day only happen on election nights where I let Democrats and Republicans kill each other in my chat. It's the only time that is a purge night. Only elect, I mean, that shit happens once every 4 years. So other than that, I don't give a fuck, all right? This is a messy relationship.
Court letting my case move forward, not a verdict, and I won't describe it as one. To much of the internet, I'm a rapist, I'm an abuser, and I'm a stalker. None of that is true. And that is the version of me posted under every video I make and handed to people who used to watch me. People I worked with, and people who have never met me. It has cost me my reputation that I've worked 10 years for. It has reached my family, it has reached my friends, and has hurt my work directly.
Bro's fence sitting for... Somebody give me the clip. Somebody give me the clip of Senna trying to talk to my shorty, please. Somebody
Making
give me
content, getting sponsors, and using the platform I spent years building, the same community she built her following on. And it did not stay online. At multiple events, I've been called a rapist. And at one event, minutes after I picked up a wristband, 3 security guards walked me out in front of everyone, and posts mocking me for it reached hundreds of thousands of people. I've been called a rapist to my face in bars and restaurants for most of the last 8 months.
Yeah,
and I decided to stay inside because of that. This is a girl named Meg who said, imagine being such a who got kicked out of the FlyQuest party after showing up uninvited. This is another tweet. LOL, Mizkif got kicked out of the FlyQuest party after getting...
Okay, I feel like his reputation was in the mud before that whole shit happened. I disagree with this part. So I'm gonna go down the whole thing and kind of tell you what I agree and what I disagree with.
Someone asked, what is this party? Also, what is the party full ALR? Thanks for ahead of time. She said, TLDR, he was rejected from an esports party, showed up anyway, and got kicked out instantly. So they tried to paint a narrative that I was kicked out and that I was not invited. I want to make it very clear. I was invited by my friend Alana. She just texted me and said, go. And I have been to hundreds of parties before Emiru's allegations with no problem in any way, shape, or form. And I got texted by Alana to go to this party with my friend Jeannie. We show up, we did get wristbands immediately, and we were able to walk in. 15 minutes later was when I was escorted out. I never had a problem getting into the party. I showed my ID just like everyone else and waited in line and was immediately let in, only to be almost immediately let out. This was not a case of someone who was simply disliked. And before I left for Japan, after I broke up with Emiru, I was around creators of every kind. And when I came back, almost no one spoke to me. And while I was in Japan, Emiru went through all of my old friends and everyone that we were friends with and spread lies about me. And instead of going to the police or any legal channel, she went straight to the people who matter the most in my life and my career. Whether out of bitterness that I was the one who ended it or for some other reason, I cannot say. What I can say is that friends stepped back, not for anything I did, but for what she told them while I wasn't in the room. And the harm was done before I even said a single word. People watched Emiru's live stream and came almost immediately to every place you can find me and said that I was a rapist and destroyed my name. A false story then took hold that I had admitted to everything when I hadn't.
Okay.
When I spoke, I denied everything, and you can see it on my YouTube channel. And the file transcript proves it. But people who had already made up their mind repeated the false version anyway. Her words were chosen with care, precise enough to be legally actionable, vague enough to let an audience picture the worst. She never had to say rapist. She said sexual assault. And to the millions of people that she said that to, people now call me rapist to my face. That is the harm. It is ongoing. It is every day. And that is why this record exists. Before the breakup, I was not an outcast as many of you think. I was the center of this community. This is the opposite of the story that people now tell about me. In the year before the breakup, 2024, my house was constantly having people there. I had 4 or 5 creators staying at my house almost every single
Okay. Hold on. Whoa. Miss, that was Nick's house.
night.
You had multiple people there, but Nick was the center of that of Austin.
Extra Emily, who was in the backyard doing something. I was hosting something, streaming with others, and collaborating with people across the entire Twitch scene. In the year that people tried to paint that I was a nobody.
Was that an OTK game day
collaborating with
footage?
people across the entire Twitch scene. In the year that people tried to paint that I was a nobody, I had over 100 collaborations with other creators, and I helped lead OnlyFans, the hardcore World of Warcraft guild that had over 300,000 active people checking in on it every single day, that Soda Poppin and I ran together, which brought more than 300 creators into the same guild. And that was just a single month. In October 2024, 3 months before our breakup, I collaborated with Foozly, Pokimane, the Botez sisters, T10 Nat, Hassan, and Extra Emily. I had a boys' night with NMP, E-Rob, and my friend Dave. I went to go see all of the Game of Thrones collection before they went on auction, and I even hung out with Jason, Max, and Ron that year. I also collaborated with people like Mari, Julia, and Danny. Yes, people try to call me an outcast, but I was outcasted when I came back from Japan. To show you how little of an outcast I was, these messages are between me and my friend at the time, Leslie, who is also known online.
He's not proving, he's proving damages, not just ego. No. I'm not saying he's proving damages. The ego was like, I was the sinner. You know what I'm saying?
And as Foozly. This was November.
I mean, listen, it's good to have confidence in yourself, gang. I'm not on it. Come on.
2nd, 2024, just 2 months before me and Emiru had broken up. I was in LA and I wanted to meet up with her, but she responded, I won't get to see you before you go, but I'm coming to Austin for OTK game day, so I'll see you in like 2 weeks. And then you can just come to LA whenever, cause you'll love it here. Oh lol, wait, that's great. What was your apartment complex called? On November 4th, 2024, she then tells me her apartment number. This was someone that I once called one of my closest friends, Foozly, wanting me to move to LA as I was telling her 2 months before I broke up with Emiru that I wanted to move to LA and get out of Austin, Texas. Because I knew at the time that I wanted to end it with Emiru and move on. At the time, Foozly was one of my best friends in the scene. Her and I would talk all the time about our problems, our issues. We would play games together. I was hanging out with her on stream constantly for about 3 or 4 years straight. And whenever we had an issue, we'd call each other. Whenever I was in LA, she was the first person I'd call. Foozly, whose real name is Leslie, I met her 4 years ago when I went on a girl named Katamia's stream for her subathon. And it turned into some of the most fun I ever had streaming. We became close fast.
Dean, are all streamers fake friends? There's a lot of streamers that are fake friends. I'm not saying all of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. But it's not my, you know what I'm saying? It's not my business. I think 85%. I might even give it 90. I might give it 90. Yeah, 90. I don't have fake friends. I don't have fake friends, chat. I can name my friends, you know what I'm saying, the people I'll ride or die for. I mean, you guys should know who, right? But I don't these are people I hang off stream, I talk to off stream, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
Played games together all the time. We talked constantly about content, our lives, our relationships, and sponsors. When I was anywhere near LA, she was the first person I called. And just 2 months before my relationship ended, she wanted me to move into her own building in LA. Right there with her, November 2024 text will show that the unit under Valkyrae's is available and come to LA whenever. I'll love it here. That is the friendship this next part is going to show you that I had. I was very close to all of these people in LA, just like I was to everyone in Austin. But I wanted to move to LA, and I knew I wanted to break up with Emiru. This next part that I'm going to show will show you what has happened to my reputation ever since Emiru's accusations. On June 18th, 2025, after texting me how excited that she was for me to come over, Foozly came to my house to hang out. She cut my hair, and I streamed it. The very next day, June 19th, is when Cutie Cinderella sent the message shown before you that Foozly had gone to Cutie asking what she thought about me. And
This leaking the DMs. Heads up. Foozly asked me what I thought about Miz today and told her my feelings. And she asked what happened with you two, and I told her to reach out to you.
Cutie told her her feelings and then told her to reach out to Emiru. Cutie is a and sent that message to an account that she thought was Emiru, but it wasn't. It was Emi, who then gave it to me after Emiru made her allegations, showing you that people were my friends.
Dean so late. Yeah, I don't be on Twitter looking at this. Bro, I get off stream, guys. I get off stream. I go play Horizon Until Dawn with my daughter, gang. I go play video games. You know what I'm saying? I don't go scrolling through Twitter. I don't do it. I don't care about Twitter. No, I'm not on LSF all day. That's why I don't, bro. This is why when I talk, don't see it.
Prior, but then once they heard Emiru's allegations, completely stopped.
Bro, I like how Emmy said, by the way, I love Cutie Cinderella. Cutie Cinderella is amazing. She actually helped me write up my business plan. She's not a dumb miss. I disagree with you. She helped me write up my whole business plan on this thing that I want to make, but I can't make it till I have 40K. Yeah.
Stop talking to me. That is a 24-hour window between Foosley sitting in my house and excited to be there, and Cutie privately briefing her on what it is and how to think about me. After the one private conversation, Foosley stopped talking to me entirely. That friend who wanted to be there on day one of me moving. After the one private conversation, Foosley stopped talking to me entirely. That friend who wanted to be there on day one of me moving to LA, that friend that wanted me to live in her apartment complex under her friend Valkyrie, was gone because she was told what to say and how to think about me. That friend who was
Wait, what did it say?
Under her friend Valkyrie was gone because she was told what to say and how to think about me. That friend who was at my house one day, who wanted me to live with her at one point.
That was your first up, Miz. You consider them friends because you collab with them. You stop doing that. I mean,
was now gone because of what she was told in a private message she was never supposed to have. A message from someone
Hey there,
who was not even involved.
Boy.
Repeating
Somebody
claims
said that you need a phone call.
thanks for giving it to him, baby.
about me that were never true, and making her doubt a real friendship over accusations I was never even given the chance to answer. About a month later, after she hasn't responded to me, I went to a 100 Thieves party with some of my friends, and she was there. And Foosley walked up to me that night and began crying on my shoulder. When I asked her what was wrong, she told me that we could not hang out anymore because of what she heard I did to Emiru. At the time, I had no idea what was going on and what people were saying about me, and I would ask her to tell me what was said, but she would say no more. I tried to reach out to Foosley afterwards multiple times, and she never responded. On June 27th was the date of the 100 Thieves party, and after crying to me for hours on my shoulder, telling me that she can't hang out with me anymore because of what she heard I did, she said, "You're okay, Miz." I then said, "Just sad the reality, but maybe whatever." I then said, "It's just so fake, the politics are fake, so much crap and so much cheating and drama, and nobody cares and they hang out, but here I am and people don't want to talk to me." I then say to her the next day, "We should talk, not drunk, off stream." She never responded. And on March 4th, to my friend Foosley, I said to her, "I hope one day we can hang out," and you can see that she lied. So you have one day where she's at my house having fun, the next day Cutie Cinderella messages her, and then she never talks to me again. This is what was constantly happening to me for about a year until Emiru came out with her allegations. I was not an outcast. I was friends with every
After all the juicy DMs, Alicia, all you seen was his 4% battery? That's all you focused on? Like, what? Like, come on.
creator. I slowly became an outcast over that year as Emiru's lies were spread amongst the community, and nobody told me what was really going on. For almost a year now, I've been forced to live inside a bubble that isn't mine, and it doesn't feel real. I've been wrongfully punished and treated and seen as a man that I am not. I've been labeled a rapist, an abuser, and a stalker. 3 words I have never been. Wrongfully attached to my name and my reputation and my community for the entire world to treat me as such. It took more than my name. It took my reputation, it reached into my family's life, and it has completely destroyed me as a person. I don't wish any of this that has happened to me among my worst enemies. There were nights it would have been easier to just disappear, to be quiet, to let the loudest version of the story become the only one. But it didn't disappear, and I'm not going to. This is not the first time, and it will not be the last time that I will address these allegations. I spoke to
So there's going to be a part 2 to this.
she did, and I've talked about it on stream since. But this is the first time I've done it in a way with a clear head, with preparation, and every document in front of me, and every quote sourced. I spoke the same day she did, and I've talked about it on stream since. But this is the first time I've done it in this way. This is only the beginning, and I'm going to go through all of this because I know she won't, because it will prove her lies. Because the truth doesn't ask me to shout, it only asks me to stay. To stand here with these documents, with the dates, with her own words, and not look away. I'm standing up for myself. I'm standing up for people who stood by me.
So, okay, first of all, hit the follow button. This is Dean's take on this. Watch the end. Okay, all right, I watched it.
And I'm going to keep standing for as long as it takes. This has been the worst year of my life. I wouldn't wish this on a single soul, not on anyone, no matter what they've done to me. All I have ever wanted is for the truth to be heard, and for justice, real justice, to find its way to the surface. To my community, and to everyone who never stopped believing in me. When believing in me costs you something. Thank you. Before I go, there's just one more thing I want you to see. Just one. This whole case we decided on evidence. The messages, the devices, the documents, everything both sides has to hand over. Under oath. I filed this lawsuit on November 3rd, 2025. By her own side's account, she knew about it November 10th. And on November 11th,
Wait. Okay, he's speaking too fast now. I gotta slow it down. I had this happen.
2025, to hand over. Under oath. I filed this lawsuit on November 3rd, 2025. By her own side's account,
2025.
she knew about it November 10th.
Is this in slow motion now? Okay.
And on November 11th, the very next day, She went back on stream and told everyone watching this in her own words.
I got 2 new computers. My other computer is gone. I gave it back to Starforge and they wiped that.
I'll see you in the next video.
Okay. Well,
Wiping the computers doesn't delete emails, texts, and Discord messages.
you're right. You're right. That thing for 300 video rules all. All right. So, this was a long ass video. In closing, this is a messy relationship. Was a messy relationship. All right. I don't think he's stalked. He is weird for trying to sleep with her while she was crying. I don't believe it is sexual assault. The phone thing in the eye, I don't believe that shit. But that's just me. But I'm just Dean, just talking my shit. It is what it is. I can't wait for part 2. I can't wait for part 2 to see what the fuck else happens. And this is a perfect example of, listen, if you're in a toxic relationship, bro, just move the fuck on, gang. You know what I'm saying? Just move on. That's really... What about the shots at Fuzi and QT? I'm cool with Fuzi. QT's a friend of mine. I would never talk ill on QT at all. If QT's looking out for a friend and she mishap and send a message to the wrong person, it's a mishap. It is what it is.
Take a side
Extra Emily,
already.
still stand by
Mr.
that. That's the homie.
Fence-sitter. Let us
Ride or die
rip
for
you
that
a
one.
new one if you were wrong.
All right. Other than that, yeah, that's basically it, man. This is a perfect example of why you shouldn't be dating streamers. Or, excuse me, as a streamer, dating streamers. I just think I'm gonna sit here in my peaceful, stress-free life, in my amazing, beautiful woman in my life, grab her ass today while we're sending into the sunset, and she tells me to look at her beautiful AP and tell the time. That does not know anything about streaming. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do that, because once you date a streamer, your whole life is public, gang, and then you have to worry about you got to worry about name like Kyron Yada talking about you on Twitter. Kyron, I just use you as an example. You're probably a good person, okay? All right, so it's just not worth, gang. It's truly just not worth. All right. With that being said, it is what it is. I move on. Until the next drama. Thanks for the YouTube video.